Hello and welcome to this week's Live Local and Loud with me, Kevin Gaughan. In this week's show I shall be chatting to young Tom Carnell. He's a man in many bands. He's also the manager at The Shed in sunny Leicester. We'll be chatting about his various bands and also when and how The Shed will be opening up. And as always, we'll have plenty of homegrown music from local bands. Hello, I hope you're all well, staying clear of any viruses and getting your vaccines like Boris wants you to. Okay, so let's start off today's little show with a band that unfortunately are no longer with us. So here's a blast from the past, from 2013 actually to be precise. It's Leaving Party, The Lake. That was Leaving Party, The Lake from 2013. I remember seeing Leaving Party at the OBS, the Original Band Showcase competition, all those years back, and that was a great little competition, that anyway. Okay, so let's have a little bit of Lose on Bleeding Heart, another blast from the past, about the same year actually, 2013. Here's Lose on Bleeding Heart and Killer.
tactic. Get your brother, my shit becomes tactic. I can feel the rage coming inside of me. This reference is wicked shining. Everyone says to him, you're on. Bleeding, crying, you need to story. We've been alone and hold up his own. And know this new shit's great out. So I sat down there. Think about the lives that you give back. This is the push me with Shala. It's set you down. Embraces. Embraces. The flame. The left in your face. Embrace. 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 Burn, you killer. Everybody knows that you do something, plays that songs in a big old city. Everyone knows that I'm messing up lyrics, spiritually marching the African track, and protecting my soul. So this book of the poker, this book and this poker, they took it up to it. They're listening to a piece of a white out, too much pressure. Not enough that, you can't blame me, so who's gone on in my time, I've kind of gone. I know I'm gonna let all my practice, debating the rules of the empire. Easy thing is to increase solitude with my friends, and it's not about to do. This is not push me with Shala. This is it down. Embraces, embraces, the flame. Rejected by the socialist, they take a poke after poke at it. Rejected by the socialist, they smoke and they smoke it away. Rejected by the socialist, they choke and they choke and they choke. Burn, you killer! Burn!
That was Losing Bleeding Heart from 2013 and Killer. Now for something a little bit gentler on the ears and a bit more recent as well. This was released about a year ago. Here's Mab from Super Evolver featuring Charlie Jones, who I spoke to on the show a couple of months ago. A few weeks ago in fact. Don't forget, if you want to hear any of these previous interviews, check out musicinleicester.co.uk and they'll all be there on the right hand side as podcasts. So here's Mab featuring Charlie Jones, Return Me to Peace.
Cold as a decade, old as a rose. Love for you barters, my heart's unfroze. Bring in my shackles, sing me to sleep. Allow me to
That was Mab featuring Charlie Jones, Return Me to Peace. Don't forget, if you'd like to hear our interview with Charlie Jones, you can check out musicinleicester.co.uk, and right down the right-hand side, you'll see a link for live, local and loud podcasts, and you'll find it in there. Okay, so now it's time for this week's little interview where I chat to the ultra-talented man, Mr. Tom Carnell. He's the manager at The Shed in sunny Leicester, and he also plays in a multitude of bands. So interesting little chat hearing about The Shed, and he'll be telling us about what it's like to be a drummer in several bands. But first of all, let's start with one of the bands that are playing at The Shed shortly. Here's Piston Slap and The River, and this is the first time it's ever been played on the radio. That was The River by Piston Slap, who will be playing at the Shed. And for this week's interview, I'm chatting to Tom, who's the venue manager and promoter at the Shed, and he also plays in a multitude of local bands. Hello there, Tom. How are you?
Hello. I am, yeah, I'm very well, thank you. Are you good?
Excellent. I'm awesome today. Thanks very much, Tom. But the next 20 minutes is all about you. So thank
Oh,
you very much for joining me today here on Live, Local and Loud. You're clearly a man of multiple talents, but let's talk about the Shed first, and then we'll talk about your various bands in a bit. How does that sound?
that sounds great.
Excellent, great. Okay, so Tom, tell me now, looking at the Shed's Facebook page, it's all gone a bit quiet there. So what they been up to then in lockdown, or are they still locked down? Are they open? Where are we at with the Shed?
So here's where we're at with the Shed. We were kind of back and forthing about when we were going to be opening for quite some time. There was a debate between myself and Elizabeth, who owns the venue, and we were kind of going back and forth with, do we open and do socially distanced gigs? Do we wait? How long are we going to have to wait? And it all felt a bit, unclear. So we then had this announcement of the roadmap, which then spurred the decision by the two of us to say, right, we then decided, let's wait until stage 4 of the roadmap, meaning that we could run gigs that weren't socially distanced, with people sat down, and we could kind of run the gigs as we want them to be ran, and we're very fortunate that the Arts Council to various venues that have applied, and we were one of those venues which was amazing, and those funds are really helping to keep us going while we're remaining closed, which is great. So this weekend just gone of the 25th and 26th of June was originally meant to be our opening weekend, because the roadmap was meant to the stage 4 of the roadmap was meant to commence on the 21st of June. As we all know, that then got delayed. So we're now looking at reopening on the 23rd and 24th of July. Fingers crossed, everything goes ahead.
Okay, because I noticed you've got some gigs scheduled at the moment, so they're all being moved, are they?
Yeah, I'm in the process of getting them all moved. They're going to be, in fact, by the time this goes out, they should actually all be updated.
Okay, that's brilliant. Okay, so why specific? I mean, I've recently been to the Musician and the Sound House that seem to be doing quite well with their socially distanced gigs. Why have you decided not to do socially distanced gigs?
There's been a few reasons, to be honest. Like I said, luckily we've had the finances available to us to be able to hold off, which has been the first thing. The second thing is we have spoken and worked with licensing and the council, and we've shown them different ideas of setups, and the ideas we've had, we've not been allowed to do, which is fair enough. We're in this pandemic, we all need to work together and make sure we can keep everyone safe. We just weren't able to, because of how our room is laid out. We couldn't have that much of an audience in the venue, and therefore we would have had to charge a lot of money for tickets, which we didn't really want to do, to be able to even break even, let alone make some money.
Big venue. I mean, you've got the basement as well, so obviously you've got all this extra stuff to pay for. I suppose you're probably quite expensive as a venue to run then on a day-to-day basis.
Yes, yeah, definitely. There is a lot of money that goes in every day to just keep us open. So we have to be very careful, especially at the minute with everything kind of being so tight. And yes, even though we've had this grant, there's only certain things that we can actually spend money on with it. And we just have to be very, very careful that when we're opening, we're not losing money, because in all honesty, Kevin, we've been, over the past year, there's probably been 2 or 3 times where we've nearly had to say that we can't keep going anymore. Wow. Like we're going to have to close. So we're still on a kind of fine line, and we're just treading very carefully and planning very carefully and making sure that doesn't happen, because by the end of this pandemic, we're hoping we are still here and we are still going.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So hopefully, though, have you got any contingency plans if we don't get unlocked? If in July the next relaxation doesn't happen?
Yeah. Well, we're kind of having to play everything by ear at the minute. We have probably a few months grace where we can say we can stay shut for another couple of months, if that does happen. Hopefully we're not going to have to do that, but we do have plans in place if we do need to do that. We just, with our audience, we have a lot of awesome, crazy people that come to our venue every week, or did do before the pandemic, and we want that same atmosphere back when we reopen. We want people to come in and be able to enjoy the gig, clap, dance, all of that, and although it seems a bit of a pain with having to keep holding it off, keep pushing it back, we're hoping that when the day comes to us actually being able to open, it's going to be a big event. It's going to be a big celebration.
Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. So might you open with an opening party, maybe?
Yeah, we're looking at different ideas. We did have a really cool opening weekend lined up for June. Unfortunately, that things have had to be cancelled and postponed. So we're just kind of working out exactly how it's all going to be working. Right as we speak, really. And like I said, I'm hoping that by the time this goes out on Thursday, did you say?
Yeah.
That everything should then be finalized and announced.
Right. Okay. Brilliant. And people can keep updated on your Facebook page, then, can they?
Yeah. Facebook page, on our Instagram. It's all Getting the Shed 94. We also have a nice brand spanking new website, which is just gettingtheshed.co.uk, which was designed by yours truly. I'd never designed a website before, but we had plenty of time for me to learn. So that was one of the skills I got to pick up while we were in this period.
And just to be clear, you're calling yourselves Get in the Shed these days.
Get in the Shed, yeah.
Media. Okay, brilliant. All right, and Tom. Well, so we've just played a bit of Piston Slap.
Yeah.
So now we're going to. Can you? Piston and Slap will be playing at the Shed soon. Have you got a date for that?
They will, yes. So that date has not been announced yet, but it will be. I'll say on the show, it will be on the 11th of September. They will be at the Shed. On the
11th of September?
Yes.
Brilliant. So that's the first here on Live, Local and Loud. It's been announced on the 11th of September. That's Piston Slap. That's brilliant. So let's play another song now. Let's play a lovely little number by Homeless Shakespeare and the Pigeon Theatre. This is going to be Suits, and they're going to be playing at the Shed. We'll speak a little bit more about that after the song. So here's Suits and the Streets by Homeless Shakespeare and the Pigeon Theatre.
Whatever happened to the roots and the street? Suits and the seats, paws, march, Chelsea boots on the feet. Arms crossed with the sideman's armed with the deeds. Armed with the dogs. Watch your dog, but you'll end up fed to the hogs. Left in the box, in the body bag, weighed with rocks. Still breathing, you'll be screaming under the mud after through these streets. Such a wondrous goodbye. Return of all of you pirates who plunder in hoods. For I am the thunder and flood, sinking ships like Poseidon would. Man, I make man dip like a siren could. Just take a sip of my lion blood and you will wake up stinking of violence proof. Cause man's hard as iron like Tony Stark. You know I'm high on a high grade straight from the farm. And the tight of my tirade drown man deep like a tidal wave. But I'm a viral, play this I'm a virus mate. Set the flaming wet into the fire's fade. Mind over body, I'm a higher state. Checkmate, you aim but you fired late. Whatever happened to the suits on the street? Moves to the feet, roots deep in the heat. Whatever happened to the suits on the street? Moves to the feet, roots weaving a beat. Whatever happened to the suits on the street? Whatever happened to the suits on the street? I'm using the cheats. Rosebud like Sims, Subtle War Empire. I'm producing a feat. I'm gonna take these seeds like they're penny seeds. You rock man stuck in my teeth. After eating them up for lunch, after sucking out the blood like a leech. And I'm peachy, but I ain't bruising. You man are wet, I can see you pruning. Don't even play the game and I know that you're losing. Guessing who's who, like I never five do this. I'm just cruising, don't mind me intruding. Just here for a bird's eye view of this shooting. My feet are grooving, speakers booming, Sinatra crooning. This is my cruise thing, soups and the blues, singing amuse, cause your bullshit's amusing. Prowling at night, we see through fox eyes. Rough like sandpaper, don't have a soft side. Carrying an Uzi, moped, mod light. Bloody and loud on the ground like a cockfight. Causing a ruckus like a protest mob man. So dope with rock lights, skipping through the stop signs. And that ain't no prob. Whatever happened to the suits on the street? Boots to the feet, roots deep in the heat. Whatever happened to the suits on the street? Roots to the feet, roots weave in a beat. Whatever happened to the suits on the street? Roots to the feet, roots deep in the heat. Whatever happened to the suits on the street? Roots to the feet, roots weave in a beat. Whatever happened to the suits on the street? Whatever happened to the suits on the street? Whatever happened to the suits on the street? Whatever happened to the suits on the street?
That was Suits and the Streets by Homeless Shakespeare and the Pigeon Theatre. Bit of a tongue twister there. Here on Live, Local and Loud, and I'm still here with Tom, who's the manager at The Shed, and he also plays in several bands. So this is one of the many bands that you actually play in, Homeless Shakespeare and the Pigeon Theatre. Is that right?
It is indeed. Yeah, I'm the drummer for that band.
Excellent. Can I abbreviate that? That's HSTPT. How about that?
Yeah,
HSTT.
yeah. Or we can just call it Homeless Shakespeare.
Homeless Shakespeare. How about that? Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, and they're going to be playing at Soundhouse soon. When's that, Tom?
We are, yeah. It's this Saturday coming, so it's on Saturday, the 3rd of July.
Excellent. Can't wait for that.
Me
Really
neither.
like Homeless Shakespeare, actually. I've seen them around quite a bit. So what particular role do you play in Homeless Shakespeare?
So I am the drummer of Homeless Shakespeare. It's quite. In fact, I'm the drummer for all the bands I'm in at the minute, and it's a very fun instrument to play in that band.
Is it? What is that? Let's have a little bit of insight into a drummer, Tom.
It's very fun and upbeat. There's a lot of
fun? What makes it fun?
There's a lot of space in the music to do a lot of like drum fills. There's quite a bit of space to improvise. So some of the music that I play, everything sounds the same every night that I play it, which I really enjoy. I enjoy writing that and learning it. But with this one, when we play live, there's a bit more room for improvisation. So I can, if I know there's a part with a fill coming up, I can go, tonight I fancy doing this fill instead of this fill. And I don't know, that might sound boring, but for a drummer, it's actually quite fun. But we have a lot of fun on stage together as well. It's very much like an audience participation thing. We get a lot of people involved. We tell awful dad jokes. Joe likes to bring his own joke book. Joe, being Homeless Shakespeare, the frontman, brings his own dad joke book. We get to have a read out of that and have a laugh. So it's very fun when we.
Brilliant. So if you can do your own fills and stuff, are you ever tempted to let rip and indulge yourself with a drum solo for a bit?
I think there has probably been a couple of times where that's happened. There's a couple of songs with a bit more space. In fact, there is one song we do called Jip Hop Sound, which is kind of about the genre of music that we play. And before each chorus, there's a bit of space for where I do like just a long 8-bar drum fill, but sometimes it can go on a bit longer if that's what I feel like doing.
Excellent. So what genre of music is that? You say jip something?
Yeah, we call it jip hop. So it's kind of like a fusion between kind of like gypsy jazz, bit of folk, bit of hip hop. There's some ska elements in there. There's a bit of all sorts, really.
What other bands are you in, Tom?
Yeah, so I play in an alternative rock pop punk band called We Give In. We've had a few singles out. We've got a video on YouTube at the minute called Time Waster. We've got 4 more songs ready to go as well that are to be released. We've got no gigs booked yet, because we were just kind of waiting to see where we're lying with the pandemic and everything. But we're hoping to be playing shows soon.
Right.
And then I also play in a band called the Surrealists, which I've now been in for about 6 years, I think.
Wow.
It's been quite some time. We met, we all met at university in Leicester and formed a band. We're now slowly releasing singles that are going to be accumulating into an album. So yeah, that's been quite fun. We've been doing a lot of songwriting and recording recently while we've been in the pandemic with Stay Free and a few of the rehearsal rooms reopening. We've been able to get in a room together and start, making music again, which has been lovely.
We've just played Suits in the Streets by Homeless Shakespeare and Pigeon Theatre. So they're playing at Soundhouse this weekend.
Yeah.
And the final gig we're going to mention is a band that we're just about to play is going to be the V's. So when are the V's playing?
We are supporting a band called Celestines who were booked early July. We're now getting them rebooked in August. That exact date will be finalised on Thursday or by Thursday once we've announced it all.
Great. And we can get all these dates from the Get in the Shed Facebook page on the events.
Yeah, on the events tab.
And it'll also be in Music in Leicester's gig guide as well, in our very handy gig guide. Okay,
Wonderful.
Tom, thank you very much for today's little chat. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing you playing at the Shed in one of your many bands this weekend. Not at the Shed, at the Soundhouse, sorry. And I look forward to the Shed opening as well and the accompanying opening party. So thank you very much for our little chat.
Thank you.
Thank you. And here's The V's The Mirror.
When we first rise in the morning and the daydream's still forming, so I wake myself. I take a walk to the mirror, take a look at the center, and I face myself. I can't believe how it seems to confront all my dreams or contemplate myself. Same old face, seen every day and thereafter. I'm all that's left, because I'm fighting out of nowhere. I'm fighting to be free. I hate what I see when I look in the mirror, but that's my philosophy. I hope and pray that she comes back to me one day. I'm all alone, alone. So please explain why it matters when my feelings are shattered and I hate myself. I see that look in your eye and I see through all the lies as I embrace myself. I'm not the man that I could be or the person I should be. I make mistakes myself. Out of place and out of touch with the laughter. Like all the rain, yes. Because I'm fighting out of nowhere. I'm fighting to be free. I hate what I see when I look
That was me chatting to the wonderful Mr. Tom Carnell, manager at the Shed and the drum player in many, many bands. Okay, so yeah, let's have a little bit of rock now. Let's have a little bit of Oceans Apart from 2020, Snake Around My Heart.
You live in the dark, stay for a heart full of watching. Midst of the odds, sit on the throne, study the crown. Your colors have shown, chill to the bone, up to the sun. Claiming his love, I've had enough, coming you glory. Thought you were stubborn till my ears were working for you and your dangerous plans. But my brain was working and you are still searching to play me your venomous hand. Forgive me for thinking we thought we were sinking, but here is for something instead. My fire's burning and I'll be returning each and everything you had planned. You live in the dark, stay for a heart falling apart. Mess with the odds, sit on the throne, study the throne. Your colors have shown, true to the bone, into the cold. Claiming his love, I've had enough, calling you love. Tested me. Each time you cross the line and fell behind. You're just a snake round my heart. Thought you were stubborn till my ears were working for you and your dangerous plans. But my brain was working and you are still searching to play me your venomous hands. Forgive me for thinking, thought we were sinking, but here is for something we stand. My fire's burning and now we returning each and everything you have planned. Dangerous plans, venomous hand. Dangerous plans, took what you needed from me. Thought we were too learned to sin. Just shows up on jealousy. Never leaves your fingers to be.
That was Oceans Apart, Snake Around My Heart. And now from their debut EP in 2019, and I think this was released, here's Robson, The Paths We Take. That was Robson and The Paths We Take. Now here's another blast from the past. Here's Spartan Skyline from about 2015, I think this is. Spartan Skyline, Bleed. Spartan Skyline and Bleed. Okay, for the last song in today's little show, let's play a number that was written during lockdown of 2020. So here's the Della Grants and 2020.
Funny how quickly things can change. In just a few days, the whole world's strange. They said we should have seen it coming. Yeah, who can we blame? We're just a little bitty part of Mother Nature's game. Oh, but the clock keeps a turning. There's nothing I can do but sit down and pray to God that nothing hurts you. Oh, but the clock keeps a turning, days keep a rolling by. You pray the day is gonna come when this virus gonna die. Oh, but the clock keeps a turning, days keep a rolling by. You pray the day is gonna come when this virus gonna die. Oh, but the clock keeps a turning, days keep a rolling by. You pray the day is gonna come when this virus gonna die.
And that was the Della Grants and 2020, written during lockdown of 2020. And they wrote that by sending their tracks to each other and all the rest of that, doing that from home. So that about wraps up another live, local and loud with me, Kevin Gorn. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Don't forget, if you'd like to listen to any of our previous shows, you can check out the podcasts, which are on musicinleicester.co.uk. Also, while you're there, check out the very handy gig diary, Music in Leicester. There's some really good, cracking gigs going on these days. I've been to a couple now, one in the Musician and one in the Sound House, both socially distanced. So get yourselves down there. Meanwhile, do have a good week, and I'll see you Thursday, 5 o'clock, here on Hermitage FM.